YouTube channel. It's Ella here. I am so happy to welcome you to the episode 10 of the Humanitarians of Africa series. And in this series, I have been sharing different stories of nonprofit leaders, amazing people doing great work. Today, all the way from Ghana, I have the beauty queen, the entrepreneur, the founder, and my amazing friend, Joyce, coming to share with us, or here already to share with us her story of leadership, of entrepreneurship, of her organization. Thank you so much, Joyce, for being here. It's an honor to have you here on this platform.
Thank you.
Okay, so Joyce, we're going to be talking, like I told you before, we're going to be just gisting and sharing your story based on how you started with your organization, what you do, your failures, your successes. People will definitely have one or two things to learn from your story. So Joyce, can we please meet you? Who is Joyce? And what does she do? Where does she live? What's her passion? Everything you think we need to know about you. Please share with us.
I'm grateful for this opportunity, and I believe you are going to enjoy this conversation. So you've already I'm Joyce Konadu Idun from Ghana. I'm a Fanti, so I belong to the Fanti tribe. I'm 29 years of age, a graduate, and partly a social worker. I'm also an entrepreneur, so I run Girl Support Movement, which was formerly Aid for Girls Foundation. But you know, the mistakes we as entrepreneurs do, we start business before we think about registration and all those legal stuff. So when we were fully ready to do the registration, unfortunately, we couldn't keep the name Aid for Girls Foundation. So we had to change to Girl Support, which I think is also good. So I'm the founder and executive director of Girl Support Movement.
Okay.
I belong to a family of 4 children.
All right. That's a very short intro. I was expecting some other things that you were going to say, but it looks like you don't like to blow your trumpet. So I'm going to blow the trumpet for you much later. So let's start with your foundation. What exactly is your foundation about, the Girls Support Movement? What do you guys do there? What's the impact you have made so far?
Okay, thank you so much. Girl Support Movement, SGM, is an SDG focused NGO that is focused on promotion of sexual and reproductive health education, prevention of teenage pregnancy, and then prevention of menstrual poverty. And we've also added academic support to our programs. So in general, we will say we do with the holistic development of adolescent girls.
Adolescent girls. Why adolescent girls? Why not young ladies? Or do young ladies fall in the same category as adolescent girls? Or what's like the age range?
So the age range is from the age of 8 to 19. Because we believe that at this stage, when they begin to develop into young women, they need the guidance, they need the support, both psychologically, mentally, like they need holistic support. If they are able to get that stage of their life successfully, there is no problem bringing them up, because that is where they pick up their character, the main character. That's where they pick it up. And a lot of problems begin from that stage. That is where they have the how do you call this? Young ones influencing their peers, peer pressure.
Pressure, yeah.
So if they are able to go through that stage of their life peacefully, then they are good to go. That is why we settled on adolescent girls.
Wonderful, wonderful. I see that part of the work you do is surrounding sexual and reproductive health for this group of girls. So how does I don't know. I just want to know, how does sexual and reproductive health affect this category? Because they seem to be young girls, 8 to 19. So how does this actually affect them? And why did you decide to focus on sexual and reproductive health?
Well, when it comes to the adolescent girls, their sexual and reproductive health is very important because as they grow or as they enter womanhood, their reproductive health is where their dignity, their confidence, and their joy is dependent on. For example, a woman grows up and she's having fibroid issues, infertility issues here and there. It affects her. It affects every part of her system. It even affects the work she does. It affects everything about her. And we realize that all these problems start from the adolescent stage, because when they enter the adolescent stage, that is when they start to menstruate. That is the manhood. That is where they have their feelings and they have this sense of belongingness. They go into relationships. They end up becoming pregnant. That's where teenage pregnancy begins from. So that is why we have on that. And when a girl actually begins to menstruate, she becomes prone to infections and all that. And all these infections pile up and in future affect their fertility. So we are taking the sexual and reproductive health seriously.
Great point. I actually didn't think of it that way. Thanks for educating me and some other people watching right now. Okay, so I'm moving now away from the more serious part, which is your foundation. Now let's come to you. How exactly did you stumble on pageantry? Was there something that inspired it and all of that? You were a former beauty queen in Kenya, and you're still a beauty queen because you're still in Ghana, sorry, not Kenya. So how exactly did you stumble on pageantry, and how has that influenced the work that you do right now?
This pageantry issue, pageant is one thing I've loved since childhood.
Wow.
But I kind of self-doubt because I'm heavy. You've seen me before. I'm heavy naturally, and I realized all ladies who entered into pageantry were slim. So that discouraged me in the first place. But growing, I still had passion for it. I wanted to go for Miss Ghana, which I was denied audition because of my weight.
Wow.
And there's one called Ghana's Most Beautiful. That one was mostly for, most of the contestants were thick like I am. But this was me also asking myself that after pageantry, what's next? Because I'm this kind of academia person. I love most of the things I do, or most of the things about me about academics. And along the line, after senior high school, I started doing basic school teaching. And fortunately, I was made a girl child facilitator. So I was in charge of girl child education units. So I had a number of school girls coming to me to share their problems and all that. A lot of girls were looking up to me then, though I was young. There was this particular girl who used to run errands for me because we lived in the same area. She used to fetch water and do all that. And one time she came to me and was like, Auntie Joyce, I have something I want to share with you. Then she began opening up that we are having some financial issues at home, and there's this guy who says he likes me and he really takes care of me. He pays my studies fees, sometimes he pays my school fees. His mother sells Indomie, so every evening I go to his mother's house to help her sell the Indomie. Then the woman pays me. The woman really likes me. But when the guy wants to have sex with me, a part of me wants to do it, a part of me doesn't want to do it. And I asked why. He said, I don't want to do it because I'm young. I'm afraid that maybe I'll get a sickness or I'll get pregnant. And the other part of me that wants to do it keeps telling me that this guy is taking care of you and he loves you, like all these things that he's doing for you. So it makes me feel that I'm denying him because he doesn't deny me anything when I ask him. And I was so broken because at that time I was also building a life for myself. My small salary was paying my school fees. I was doing distance education. It was paying my rent. I'm the firstborn at home and all that. Daddy was down, so I had to support. So I couldn't give her concrete advice that, hey, don't do this, because if I give her an advice and then she stops and that place blocks, I need to provide her whatever she used to get from the guy. So I kept my calm. And unfortunately, before she completed JHS or junior high, she got pregnant. And that really broke me. I got so sad. And I learned something that it's not always about your money. You can change a lot of people's life experience. It's not always, even if it comes to the extent of giving money, you can seek funds on their behalf. It's not compulsory that you use your pocket money, because there are people who have the resources and are ready to help but do not have the kind of idea you have. So why not put your idea across to fight that particular problem at hand, and then allow those who have the resources but do not have the idea to. So I also needed a platform, because in this world, especially in Africa, if you have an NGO, a lot of people use NGOs to do bad things. So you need a platform that will make you credible. So friends were like, oh, Joyce, you can go for Ghana's Most Beautiful. You are outspoken, you are talented, you can do a lot of things. Why not go? Then I said, well, let me get a pageant that will fit my status. And then after winning or becoming a runner-up or getting some audience, I can, based on that, to launch my NGO. So there was one pageant that was in our school, Queen of Tertiary Africa. That one you contest on behalf of your school and your country. So, and God being so good, I won, and that was my breakthrough. But I was having doubts in the beginning. That was breakthrough. I won, and then I got companies that were sponsoring the pageant came on board to sponsor the foundation when it was launched. So they have been for some time now, but now there are thousands and millions of NGOs, so their funds are divided, so we don't really get the support like that. Was how I got into pageant.
Wow, what a great story. I can imagine how bad you felt when that young girl got pregnant. It felt like her life was in your hand and you didn't actually take it seriously. I know what that means. Like, I know what that feels like. So when you were talking, you mentioned challenges, and you already mentioned one challenge that actually held you back, which was your body, your size, because of when it comes to pageantry, ladies are quite slim, but then you are not as slim as they are. So it kind of seemed like a challenge to you. But looking at your life generally and how far you have come, are there any other challenges that have limited you, but you've been able to break out from so far?
Oh, yes. There have been of challenges, and the main one, which sometimes I feel people are finding difficult to accept, is my skin color. I used to have a lot of people reject my personality because of my skin color.
Really?
And that has really been a stumbling block. But as I grew, I grew to learn that I'm unique. That's how God created me. I'm not sensible than God, or no human being is sensible than God. That's how come I even came about the essential cosmetics, just to help people take care of their skin.
We're coming to that. Okay.
Yeah, and also with this challenge, it has to do with everyone. You know, in Africa here, so far as there is financial challenge, it affects everything that a person does. But God being so good, I'm that kind of person who loves to engage with grown-ups. So I usually don't make friends with my peers. I have few friends who are around my age group. Most of my friends are adults, grown-ups. So I used to get encouragement, motivation, inspiration. I was able to make it. Like, things were so hard, but I tried my best to sail through. So this financial challenge issue, it has been the problem of everyone. Lots of people don't have their dreams realized because of financial problems. And I think it's a challenge everywhere.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. It's a challenge that everyone has at one point or the other. So let's kind of move back to your organization. So when I was doing my research and reading about your organization, I see there are a few programs that you do. I want you to share with us the different programs that you do, and also throw some light on the Shiro's quiz. That name, Shiro's, actually caught my attention. So do you mind sharing the different programs and the Shiro's quiz?
All right. So we have a number of programs in our organization. One is the menstrual drive, where we find out, we look out for areas, especially the remote areas where affordability of sanitary pad is not really the best. So we find out areas finding, or girls finding, or where, let's say, period poverty is. Then we distribute sanitary pads to them. We also have type of sanitary pads that we distribute. We have the disposable ones and the reusable ones. So where we feel, you know that you cannot give sanitary pad once and then go away. So areas where they have water and can keep themselves clean, we give them the reusable ones. And then areas where we think the neatness or the hygiene is not really the best, we give them the disposable ones. We also we chose Shiro because we are dealing with the she. We are dealing with females, she. Okay. So if men are here, then we think women are Shiro. So there's a platform that makes a woman feel like a hero, you know. So it's an educational that gives girls opportunity to exercise their intellect. They learn, they become outspoken, they explore, and also it helps them to see the beauty of STEM. We are promoting women in STEM. Lots of girls are running away from science, math, technology, and all that. So when they are involved in the STEM, we make the STEM programs beautiful for them to enjoy. So we have the quiz competition. We have quiz competition. We have other competition like the cooking competition. So far, we started with the quiz competition last year, which covered sexual and reproductive health and science. So we'll be looking at science and maths in the latter part of this year. Then we'll add the sexual and reproductive health, but that will be held on the International Day of the Girl Child. So it helps girls to explore. Yes, and God be good. When they win, they get an amount of money, they get sanitary pads, then they get mentors. The winning school contestants get mentors, and then we have a robotic team that train the girls in robotics. You know, now robotics is really coming up.
Yeah.
So
wonderful.
Yeah, have a team as a sponsor that they introduce the girls robotics. So before they finish basic school, this is done in the lower and upper basic school. Before they finish school, they are exposed to STEM. So it doesn't become difficult for a girl to choose science as a course in high school. We want to take the mathematics and science fear.
Wonderful. That's great. Exposing girls to STEM so that they can embrace science. And that's actually a way to increase the number of girls in the STEM field, because we find that a lot of organizations right now are trying to bridge that gap and increase the number, but then picking them from where they are young and exposing them and educating them about the benefits of it and how easy it is actually a great one. I wish I had that opportunity. I don't like math till today. I still struggle with math. I wish I had that opportunity. Okay, so what dreams and aspirations do you have for your organization? Like, when you think about your organization, where do you see it in the next, let's say, 5 years?
Okay. We have a lot of dreams, but a bigger one. We are in 2022, so we are looking at 2030. So let's say in the next 8 years, in the next 5 years, we are looking at maybe getting an office and a van for ourselves, for the organization. The biggest one, getting an orphanage in the name of the organization, and then bringing the girls in the streets together, and then promote pivot and entrepreneurship through the orphanage. First, I wanted to have a school, but everybody has a school. We are all doing the same courses, paying the same school, doing the same thing. But what about those that but are not having the opportunity? So that is what you want. So let Girl Support Movement Foundation or Orphanage, Girl Support Orphanage. Then we bring the streets into it. You were in Rwanda, and then you saw what was done in the entrepreneurship hub, and then youth employment center. That is what we look forward to achieve by 2030.
That's a huge goal.
Yes, personally, I believe that education comes in two forms, which we all know, the formal and informal. Not go to the classroom and badge a degree or master's, PhD, but a lot of people can do it when they are given the opportunity to exercise their talents or their skills. And I think that invest in entrepreneurship is a great one. So that is
that's actually a huge goal. I actually had something similar in mind, to have a place like that for girls to come around to learn skills. And like you said now, it just reminded me of when I used to have those things in mind. Maybe I'll pick it up again sometimes. Okay, so moving on. What are the mistakes you have made in your nonprofit, in your organization so far? You know, everyone has a passion to help people, and they want to help a particular group of people is driven by something, which from your own story was driven by the personal experience you had with the young girl. So on the journey, on the way so far, what are the mistakes you have made, and what are the things you think you could have done better looking back?
Looking back, I think there is one particular mistake I've made that still hurts me. In my organization. So I'm going to talk about the administrative part. Now, starting the organization, I didn't place it at the back of my mind that an NGO demands a group of people who are selfless and then official and are willing to do everything to see other people's lives better. So I depended on friends. I made it a friendship something, which nearly broke the organization, and then it affected, yes, it really affected the credibility of the organization. So instead of putting out for volunteers, people who have passion for NGO work, I depended on my friends and some family members. And at a point that I really needed them to undertake certain projects and stuff, I was the only one left. And any funds that came, because I'm this kind of transparent person, I made them understand that, oh, when you are running an NGO, supporters come. So as you sacrifice your time, I'm going to see to it that you have something to replace your time and all that. So most of my friends were expecting to be paid after fundraising. Let's say we raise an amount of $1,000. They see that money to be so big, not thinking about the budget of the project or the goal. If they go, but because it sounds $1,000, they think you can just use $500 for the project, and then we share the $500 among ourselves. And it was one mistake that I did. Friends started coming to me for loan, and this is Joyce, who has a soft heart. She will just give the money up, and the project will be left hanging. That was one mistake that I made. At the end of the day, I even lost such friends because, you know, in Africa, someone comes to you for money. The kind of energy the person uses to take their money is different from the energy
they want to use to pay back.
So fighting a misunderstanding here and there. But at the end of the day, I knew the vision I had, the goal I had set, and then I had to choose the organization with my friends.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
So I learned a big lesson. So now I go for people who have really worked with NGOs before, people who
Mm.
understand the mission.
Mm.
Yes, when you don't get people who understand the mission and people who see things from where you also see yourself, who also see what you are seeing from where they stand,
Mm. Mm.
it's really difficult.
True.
It's really
You're very right, and I'm so sorry about that experience. I think I've had my own fair share of that too. Before I left Nigeria to move to Cyprus for my PhD, I was running two organizations actually, and I left it in the hands of people to run for me and implement most of the projects. In fact, we had a very big partnership which was like a groundbreaker for us at that point, but they didn't do anything. Everyone was expecting something else in return, and the whole thing just crumbled. So I think I get where you're coming from. That's a very, very annoying phase to be at. But then moving from the sad part to the happy part, what are the biggest wins you have had as a founder for your organization and also for yourself personally?
well. For the organization, I think every achievement we've made is a win for us. So
Mm.
far, last time we checked that data, we realized that we have a little over 2,000 girls who depend on us for
Wow.
sanitary pads.
Wow. Wow.
Yes. So if we don't move to bring in, or if you don't move to bring in funds, these girls, only God knows how they are going to have, let's say, a successful menstruation. Like,
Mm. Mm. Mm.
baffles, but it is what it is.
Wow.
And there was one time that there is a village that we are taking up a project. We were there once, that was 2 years ago, during the COVID era. We
Yeah.
were there, and there was one woman who she owns a farm, like she's a peasant farmer.
Yeah.
So it's only her son who can go to school. Like
Mm.
the girl will go to school and then get pregnant. Looking at the state of the village, teenage pregnancy is extremely high. So she said, why should I even take my girl child to school? I'll pay all the school fees and everything, and she'll get
I should
pregnant.
get
Even if she
pregnant.
doesn't get pregnant, someone will marry her. But for the man will go, even if he gets married, he'll come back and take care of me. But what if my daughter marries someone, even if she marries someone's good and someone rich and the man is not good and kind enough, I'm not going to get anything. So I want to put my boy in school. And even with the boy, right after junior high, he's going to play football. So with this, I took her number. I used to call her,
Mm.
then join the company, go and give her sanitary pads, hand sanitizer, nose mask, food products, and all that. So after the COVID, when schools resumed, she called me that she wanted to take the girl to school, but I should come and talk to the girl to promise her that she's going to learn very hard and make her proud. Likes how I come there with my girls and the way we carry out ourselves, and all the girls come around, it's like they are proud of us already. And if it wasn't for school, I remember I told her that if it wasn't for school, I was a teacher by then. I wouldn't
Mm.
have been get that job as a teacher and get salary to support people. So she called me, and then I went to speak to the girl that she should promise me, her mother, and the whole community that she's going to take her education serious. So she's done with SHS.
Wow. Wow.
She's done.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, so I feel it's one of my biggest wins
Yeah, it
for me,
is.
for the organization, and for God.
Mm. 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 That's really wonderful. And the fact that she didn't even get pregnant like her peers would, that's
Yeah,
amazing. And that's a dedication and commitment on her end too. Well
yeah.
done. Well done. So before I wrap this up and let you go, are there any programs or activities you would like our viewers to support you with or to donate to your organization, even though all the donation details and everything will be in the description. So guys, you can check the description for how to contact Joyce and how to reach out to her organization. But then, are there any programs specifically you would want us to support you with?
Oh, yes. Currently,
Okay.
we upcoming the Sustainable Girls Development Program. So this program is going to help girls both academically and partly financially. I'll explain that, and then also health-wise. And we use sustainable. It's not going to be a one-day show. There are a lot of projects that NGOs are doing well, but sometimes we do the one-day show and then we leave it, and we go back to cost 90. So we are putting strategies that will make it sustainable to ensure that we have the results we are looking for. So the Sustainable Girls Development Program is grouped into 3 categories. We have the academic support, we have TVET and internship, and we have capacity building. Academic support covers schoolgirls in basic, junior high, and then senior high schools. So we have some girls who are brilliant but needy. They need the support. We are going to take care of stationery and other payments. In Ghana here, we have the free education. So though there is free education, buying of books and all those things are expensive. So we are going to cater for that, the brilliant girls. And we're going to find mentors to mentor these girls, to find out career opportunities, how to take care of themselves, how to handle themselves. So they get mentees. So we are taking it. This project is taking part in Asesewa. It's a rural area in Ghana here. So going to be based in urban areas where during vacations, these girls in the village will come to the city to have exchange programs like we left our countries to do in Rwanda. Then they meet the children in the urban areas and know that they are the same. It's just a difference in location. And then they'll pick up a lot of things. They'll sit in the same classroom with them and have sessions. They pick up like the pen kind of thing. Then the vets and entrepreneurship is for the girls who have dropped out of school and are not eligible. Those who want to get back to school, we can support them get back to school. But those who are not eligible or do not have the interest now or the interest anymore will be taken through some skills training like soap making. You know, I'm into soap making. So yes, so we'll do soap making. We have graphic designing, we have tailoring or dressmaking, and we have beading. That community, they manufacture beads. They are very good. They are called the Krobos. Yes, they are sole suppliers of beads in Ghana. So we are introducing them to many dynamic ways of doing beads or making beads. We have bead bags, bead shoots, and all those things. We introduce them to that. God being so good, we have a very designer in the city who is willing to sponsor 3 girls who will do well with their dressmaking. So they teach them the corset. They can take corseting for engagements and weddings. Yes. So that's what we will be doing. Then with the capacity building, there are certain youth who enter, but they don't have the support. We are going to help them build their capacity. So that is what the project is all about. We are also looking for it to have financial institutions on board who would teach them savings and how to manage their funds, how to raise funds to support their business. So that when the dependency rate on the men goes down, we believe teenage pregnancy is going to reduce. It's true. Of you, when you are the man responsibility, you also have a responsibility of providing sex or that they can marry you at any age. But when the girls are dependent, they are independent, they will be confident enough. They will know what they want. Yes.
Wonderful. That's so great, like the whole initiative. So as usual, everyone, I'm going to be sharing every detail. You can check out our Instagram page where I'm going to be sharing the flyers. Also, you can check the description box for how to donate, how to support, how to volunteer your time with this organization. So Joyce, Thank you so much. It has been an amazing 30 minutes with you, and I am so glad to have heard and shared your story with the world. Well done on the work that you do, and I look forward to coming to Ghana to see you sometime soon.
Yeah, we really have to. And thank you so much for this. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Okay, guys, from us, that is the end of today's episode. See you in another season, because today's episode ends season 1 of the Humanitarians of Africa series, and we're moving to something hotter for this next season, and I can't wait to share with you all. So thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye.